Hello and welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to walk you through engravings on DEATHBLADE and the priority of which engravings, especially early on, are important. And we already talked about the class engravings before in the previous video. Just a quick mention, both Surge and remaining energy builds are viable. Depends what you want to play. I personally play Surge because it does big crits, and remaining energy is a little more consistent, but both work out. So let's talk about the actual non-class engravings now and how important they are. You've probably heard about people saying, oh my god, you need to get Grudge, and you need to get Cursed Dull and Blunt Weapon and whatever. In the beginning, that is not at all the case, because you can get a lot of benefit from engravings that don't have negative effects initially, because you don't have that many engravings, right? So especially in tier 1 and tier 2, this is important to know. So Grudge, Keen Blunt, Cursed Dull, unless you get these to level 3, they're first of all pretty useless. But on top of that, I think you can get some pretty good ones outside of that. So that's what we'll be talking about now. First of all, I think the most important one that everyone, almost in all classes, should be considering is Adrenaline. How this works is you basically stack up a buff that over time gives you attack power and a crit chance at a certain level. So for example, if I go here, you can see that there's a 1 stack of Adrenaline stacking up, and it gives me attack power, and once you reach max stack, that gives you a crit buff. So that being said, this is a very nice early on engraving that can give you, well, a lot of benefit without a lot of investment. Even just having this on level 1 is nice because it gives you a good amount of attack power, and on top of that, 5% crit, even on the first level. And obviously on level 3, it gets 15% crit and even more attack power, but very great engraving to just have as a filler if you don't know what else there is. Now after that, you also have Supercharge. This is very self-explanatory. If you play a lot of charge abilities, for example, Soul Absorber, this is a charge, or Blitz Rush is also a charge, Sword Art is also a charge. So if you play a lot of charge abilities, Supercharge is very nice to have as well. If you play Burst build though, this doesn't obviously buff your burst, so there's some burst build iterations that actually play completely without Supercharge. But even on Burst Blade, this is useful. So also something you should definitely keep in mind. Supercharge is great on both builds. And if you find one of these and you don't have anything else, put it on. And now last, for the beginning level of engravings, although most of these you will use later on as well, is Master of Ambush. And this is also very self-explanatory. A lot of Blade's attacks are actually back attacks, including your synergy that buffs back attacks. So having Master of Ambush buffing your back attacks even further is also really nice to have. And now a quick summary again of what you should prioritize early on. But first of all, remaining energy and Surge, depending on which one you play, your class engraving. Then Adrenaline, very great on all levels. Even on level 1, it's a great benefit to your character. And as I said, until tier 3, you won't max out a lot of engravings. So having Adrenaline up, giving you that crit boost, giving you that attack power boost is great. Same with Supercharge, although I think Supercharge is a little less important than Adrenaline. Although if you do care about a very fluid charge setup, then Supercharge is also a great engraving choice, and a lot of Blade builds will play this, or all of these engravings actually, until Endgame and beyond Endgame, or in Endgame, right? And same goes for Master of Ambush. We just talked about that very briefly. Great back attack, very easy to set up, and there's no downside to it. And beyond, or tier 3 and beyond, as you can see below, you can see Grudge, Cursed Dull, and Keen Blunt Weapon. All 3 of these are actually engravings that have a very good positive effect and a very bad negative effect. Therefore, not having them maxed out is really bad. And as I said early on, you have so many other great engravings that you can opt into, so I wouldn't really bother with them in the very beginning. And yeah, that's it for today. Very quick engraving overview. Which ones should you prioritize? Which ones you shouldn't? Although I would say this is a very entry-level guide. I will definitely make a more in-depth, Surge or remaining energy guide later on as well. So for tier 1, tier 2, and maybe the beginning of tier 3, this is accurate. Afterwards, you probably need a new one. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't checked out my Twitch yet, that would also be great. And if you haven't subbed, that always helps out as well. Have a good one, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.